Okay. Equation of a line, y equals mx plus b form. So a line needs to be in this form at the moment. So y equals mx plus b. These are straight lines that are not horizontal or vertical, because we saw that before, right? Horizontal ones look like this, and they had equations y equals to like 3, and vertical lines look like this, and they had equations x equals to, let's say, 2. So these ones are vertical and horizontal. That's what we saw, I think, last week. This week we're looking at these form, where they're both x's and y's in the one equation. So this is called the gradient intercept form. The reason why it's called that is because the m stands for the gradient and the b stands for the intercept. So we call it the gradient intercept form. So write that down, y equals mx plus b, gradient intercept form. M is gradient, b is your intercept, and specifically write it is the y-intercept. Y-intercept. So that means what we mean by intercept, if you think of a line, it cuts at 2 points, it cuts here and here. This one here is called the x-intercept because it cuts your x-axis, right? These are your x's and these are your y's. Of course, this one up here is called the y-intercept. So on the y-axis, it's called the y-intercept. On the x-axis, it's obviously called the x-intercept. All right, nice and simple exercise. Determine the gradient and y-intercept of the following equations. Now, before I get started, I'm going to pick you guys out, but before we get started, I just want to remind you, the gradient is the number in front of the x. So be careful when we change things around. The gradient is the number in front of the x, including the sign, whatever sign there is. Your intercept, your y-intercept, is the number that's by itself, that doesn't have an x. Okay, so the gradient is the number in front of the x. The y-intercept is the number that is by itself. Any questions at this stage? Nope. All right, I'll do the first one. So gradient, the gradient is the number in front of the x. The number in front of the x is just a 2, so 2. And then the y-intercept is the number that's by itself. It's a positive 3, so I'm just going to write 3 for now. Okay, let's try. Annabelle, let's start with you. Gradient, what's the gradient for the second one now?
Sorry?
It's not 3. What's in front of the x?
2.
No, in front of this x right here.
-3.
-3.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And
I
then
thought
what's
you were one above it.
no, sorry, this one here. Gradient is -3, and then what is the y-intercept? So what's the number that's by itself?
3.
Now 3. Perfect.
Yeah.
Good job. Gab, next one. Gradient, the number in front of the x.
-1.
-1. Keep saying that. Gradient is the number in front of the x. Okay.
Yeah.
Y-intercept?
7.
7, of course. Easy. Okay, next. Jamal, gradient?
Positive
3.
3.
Yeah, you can say either. Yeah. And then y-intercept?
4.
Too easy. Jamie, next one. What's the number that's in front of the x? Negative what? 1. Beautiful. And then y-intercept? 3. Too easy. All right, it looks like we're getting these. So remember, as long as they're in this form, y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals You think it doesn't look like it, but if I rearrange this, watch this, minus x plus 7, it's the same thing, mx plus b. So as long as you've got pretty much the x and the a number by itself, it is in this form. All right, who's next? Jenna. Jenna, next one, gradient.
-3
-3 and
And 4.
y-intercept 4. Who do we have? Sam. Next one, Samuel.
Wait, which one?
This one, minus 2x plus 2.
So the gradient is -2,
Yep, and
and the y-intercept is 2.
good job. Shane.
The gradient is 1, and the y-intercept is -3.
Too good. And last one, Liam.
-5 and -1.
All right, I'll finish off the next one. So gradient will be -2 and 1, +2 and -1. And don't be scared of this. It's just 1/4 and +4. And who wants to give a shot to the last one? What's the gradient?
1.
Someone said 1. It's
Yeah.
wrong.
Oh, isn't it?
Yep.
Half.
Half.
2.
Half.
Half.
1/2. 1/2. So tricky, because look at the one that's in the quarter here. We've written as 1/4x, and you guys can tell it's 1/4. But that can also be written as 1/2x minus 1. Or we know x times 1 is x. So we could write x on 2 minus 1. It's the same thing. But obviously, everyone gets fooled by that one. Be careful. It's 1/2. And then, of course, y-intercept of -1. All right. Any questions at this stage? I think that made sense to all of us. All right, let's try the other way around. Write the equation now, given the actual gradients and intercepts, or y-intercepts. So we got to write it in this form. Okay, so you're always going to have the y, and you're always going to have the x. All right, let's see. Let's see who can do this one. Let's try. All right, let's try with Jamal. Jamal, what do you reckon? Y equals.
Y equals 3x
Yes.
plus 2.
Oh, too good. Y equals. Jenna, y equals.
-4 minus 3
Ooh, -4
x
x
minus
minus 3.
3.
Yeah, it has to contain the y, x equals, and the x. Those are 3 things you definitely know it has to have. Y equals, and then the x. All right, cool. All good. Samuel, next one.
Y equals -x.
That's it. Exactly. You don't say plus
yeah.
anything because it's +0. No, good. Good
Yeah.
job. Shane, next one.
That is y equals to half x.
Oh, okay, you're doing that one.
Oh, wait,
Y
sorry.
equals to,
Sorry,
that's okay. That's okay. Half x
plus 0.25.
plus 0.25. Then I'll just finish this one off. Y equals 3/4 x minus 5. All right. Any questions? No, we're killing it. All right. Exercise H. Pretty easy. Let me just want to make sure. Yep. Very good. Very good. And that's all you're meant to do at your stage, right? Yes. Very nice and easy. Homework. And the answers are obviously right here. So if you have any issues, let me know, but they shouldn't be. I think that's a fairly straightforward task for most of you. So I mean, out of the what, 3 weeks so far, you can probably say this one, yep, really easy. I should be able to get full marks for this section of my test. So you start to learn, I guess, what is easy and what is hard. All right. Comparing straight lines and their gradients. you have to always make sure it is in this form. So it has to be y equals, not x equals. If it's x equals, you've got to rearrange. I'll show you what that means in a second. So find the gradients of the following lines and determine whether the lines would be sloping to the right or to the left. Well, what's the gradient here? The gradient is 7. Is that slope to the right or to the left?
Right.
Right.
Correct. Correct. Thank you. Positive gradient, slope to the right. What's the gradient here? -1. So therefore it's a negative. And then of course it's sloped to the left. So pretty straightforward. And then a simple case. Joel found the gradient of this line to be 3. By using the line and without any calculation, why is Joel wrong? Well, we can tell it's sloped to the left, so it could not have been a positive number. It should have been negative. All right, nice and easy. And then you can calculate the actual gradient. You can do rise over run. You can do the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Whatever method you like by now is fine. That's just a task that you can do on your computer. That's not a problem. Example 47, which of the following equations best represents this graph? All right, beautiful. So imagine this was a multiple choice. A, B, C, or D. Which two can we knock off straight away? By just looking at the graph, which two can you knock off straight away?
B and C.
B, C. They're positive gradients, not allowed. Then you got your gradients sorted out. Now you know the y-intercept is -1. That's a y-intercept, right? So it can't be this one either. Answer is A. All right. Which line is steeper? This one or this one? Well, you've got a gradient of 2 versus a gradient of 4. Which one is steeper? The 2 or the 4?
2.
Ooh, so you don't understand it. Slope of 4. Slope of 4 is steeper. Think of it like that. Think of it like this, honey. Think of a slope as sorry, I meant to say think of your steepness as a slope. So think of your steepness as a slope. Now imagine you had no slope, like if it was like this, flat, something that you walk on, let's say, and it's fairly easy to walk on. What's your gradient? Well, 0. That's what we've learnt, right? Flat lines have gradients of 0. So if I increase the steepness, so let's say now this is m is 2, that's a lot harder to work or to walk on. If I increase it even more, let's call it m equals to 4, that's even steeper than the second one, and obviously steeper than the first one. So the larger the gradient, slope of 4 is steeper. Larger the gradient, the steeper it is. The smaller the gradient, I guess you could say the flatter it is. Make sense, Samuel?
Yeah.
All right, all good. All right. That's fine. Match the equation to the line. We'll leave that one as homework. That's a simple task. Write down the gradient of each line. Write down for each pair of lines. So far, so good. Comparing straight lines and their y-intercepts. Use the widgets. That's still doing things online. Not for us right now. Complete the equation for each graph. Yes, that is for us. Okay. All right. So we've got to find the equation of this line. Oh, no, these are straightforward actually. These are only being shifted because they're all y equals x. Nope, not what I want to do. That's what I would like to do. Y equals 3. Okay, yep, we're going to do this. So we're going to try to find the equation. Let's start off with this one first. And if there's more than one possibility, we'll take a note of that, and then we'll come back as we continue each one. So let's start with the first one here. Well, what do we know? We know it's got a slope that is negative. We know, in fact, we can find the gradient. The gradient is rise 1 over run, rise 1 over the run of 2, and it's sloped to the left, so it's negative. And then, what's your y-intercept? Well, positive 1, right? It intercepts the y-axis at positive 1. So the equation we're looking for is y equals negative half x plus 1, which only is this one there. Well, they've done it as 1 minus half x, which is the same thing. Negative half x plus 1 is the same as positive 1 minus half x. All right. Let's try this one. Who's going to do it with me? Liam, let's do it together. So the first thing is, obviously, I'm sure you know what the y-intercept is.
Yeah.
Which is?
Positive 4.
Positive 4. We're going to find our gradient. So first you've got to look for a right angle triangle. And I think I can see a right angle happening right there.
So the gradient's 4.
So, ooh, careful, hold on. What's your rise from 1 to 4?
4. Oh,
No.
and then 3.
3. And then what's your run from 0 to 1?
1.
Yeah, so your gradient is 3, and it's sloped to the right. So rise over run is 3, and it's still positive. So your equation is y equals
3x.
Yep.
3x plus 4.
3x plus 4, which looks like it's b. So this was d. This is b. Good stuff. And it's saved as we're going, so we don't lose it like we did last week. All right. Next one. Let's try Jenna. Let's try this one here. Again, I think it's pretty easy to find the y-intercept straight away. What's your y-intercept?
It is -4.
Yep, sorry.
Sorry, Sam, I don't
-4,
know if it's
and
happening
then
to
we wanna-
anyone else, but you keep like lagging or breaking.
Yeah. You sort of turn into a
Yeah,
robot.
that's happening.
Yeah.
I've turned into a
Yeah.
robot. Fair enough. Is it happening right now?
No.
No?
Yeah, no.
All right. If it does happen, you guys just got to stop me. Jenna just say, Sam, stop. Because
Okay.
it's possible that as I get phone calls and stuff like that, the internet disconnects. So just stop me and we'll continue because I'm on my hotspot.
Oh.
So M, gradient. Now, we need to find a right angle triangle. Okay, I can see one, I can see another one. There's a few. You got to pick which one's easiest. I think let's pick this one for now. So there's a dot there, there's a dot there. That's my triangle. All right, what's my rise from 2 to 5? From 2 to 5. What would you say your rise is?
3.
3.
3.
Sorry,
Yeah.
3.
That's okay. And then what's your run? From 3 to 2?
1.
1. So your rise is 3 over 1, which is still 3, and it's sloped to the right, so it's positive 3. And can you give us the equation now? Y equals?
Y equals 3x
Yes.
-4.
Beautiful. Which one is that? That's H. So that's H done, D done, B done. Well done. All right, we'll go around to the next one. Let's try Annabelle. Let's try this one here.
Sam,
Again?
can I rejoin the call because like my screen's frozen?
Yeah,
Okay,
Nia, the
yep.
screen is frozen. I can't really see what you're doing.
Screen's frozen for you as well.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe you got to end the call and come back and join back in. Shane, then this one here.
So the
Y-intercept
that is 4.
4 and gradient.
The gradient is
Now, you want to draw it or you think you can find it?
wait. That's 3. Is it 4 upon 3?
1 over 3.
Oh.
1. There's a rise there, 1 of 3. 1 over 3. And then, what's your equation? Y equals mx plus your
Oh.
y-intercept.
3x plus 4.
3x plus 4. Which is E.
Yep.
Done. Let's try the next one. Annabelle, you back yet?
Yeah.
Is it working again? Do you see me moving my little pointer here?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, let's
It's
try
like-
now.
It comes late, but it's like moving.
All right, let's try. Well, I'll be patient. Y-intercept. What's the y-intercept for this one here, this graph?
The y-intercept.
Yep.
It's
Where does
1.
it cut? No. What? No, that's nope. Y. Where does it cut the y-axis?
Oh, the
Negative
y.
Yes.
Yeah, -3.
So that becomes -3, and then your gradient. We need rise over run. So let's draw that all the way to there. We get a right angle triangle. So what's your rise from 5 to 1? What's that distance? How many boxes? Is it?
That's 5.
Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
5 to 1. From 5 to 1, you've got 4. How about from 2 to 1? What's your run there?
2 to 1.
Yep. What's your run right here?
1.
1. So your rise is
Yeah.
4 over your run. 4 over 1 equals 4. Your equation is y equals m x and then plus b, which is your y-intercept. 4x take away 3, which is c. All right. You want to try the next one again, Annabelle, with me? It's probably because, like you were saying, your screen was frozen. So you probably missed out a
Yeah.
bit. Let's try the next one. Wait, what's your y-intercept again here?
Which
Where-
one are
where
you
does
on?
Sorry, yep, I'll star it. Let me know when you see the star.
I think it's frozen again.
Frozen again.
Yeah, I'll just get off it and come back on.
All right. It's a shame. Is it doing that for others as well? Is it literally freezing like that?
Oh no.
Hmm.
It was
Maybe it's-
freezing. I left and then came back and it's fine now.
Okay. Okay. I'm just thinking if it's maybe your internet. We'll work it out. All right, Samuel. Let's try this one out. Then y-intercept of this one, of this line.
-2?
No, that's x-intercept. X.
Oh yeah, 1.
1. What's your gradient? Gradient is rise over run. We've got to find a triangle. Let's just do that triangle to there. All right. What's your rise from 1 to 4?
3?
3. What's your run from 6 to 0? Obviously, that's 6.
6, yes.
And then your rise is 3 over 6,
Which is
which is a
half.
half. And then slope to the
Yeah.
right, so it's still positive. What's your equation? Y equals
Y equals 1 over 2x
1 over 2x
plus 1.
plus 1, which is g. Good work.
Hello?
Yep. Jamie, last one. Can we do this one? You ready? Jamie? Not there. Grace?
Yes.
Yes. Grace, let's try this one. What's your y-intercept?
4.
Where is it cutting the y-intercept?
Oh, 3.
3. The y-intercept. Where does it cut the y-axis? 3. Gradient. We got to create a triangle. I will create it right there. Oh. Okay. What's my rise from 3 to -1? Okay, wait. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 over 1. 4 over 1. But then, is this slope to the left or to the right?
Would it
Is-
be like negative?
Yeah, it's sloped to the left, so it's negative. So -4. And the answer is y equals -4x plus your y-intercept, which means this one's A. So process of elimination, we know this one's F, and we are done. All right. I'll try to slow it down, just I think from what I can say with the others. Match the equations with the graph. You got to do that exercise. That can be your ones. Homework. Let me see what else is left. We just did all that. Find the gradient. It's just over, because that's the hardest skill, to determine the equation of a line. I just meant to make sure if we have finished everything, find the equation of a line which this passing through this. Okay, these are the harder ones. Example 60. So let's do that, but is it pretty much done? No, I thought so, general form. Good. Okay. So something a little bit harder. This one says find the equation of the line with a gradient of 3, but it passes through this point. We actually did this question just before. That was one of the first ones we just did. What I had said was you have this, right? Y equals 3x plus, now you don't know the y-intercept. So you don't know what that value of b is. So we'll leave it as b. But what do you know when it says passing through the point -1 and 2?
It's
What
a
do you know about-
positive.
It's a positive. Yeah, okay, cool. Yep, it's a positive gradient of 3, so it's, you know, it's sloped this way, let's say. Yep, that's fair enough. What do you know about the points? What do you know about those? How can you use that in this equation?
X1 and Y1.
X and Y, you don't need 1 because it's just the 1 point. Yeah. But yeah, X is -1 and Y is 2. So if you could sub that in, obviously what would you be solving for? The only other letter that's left, you'll find actually your B. So observe, 2 equals -3 plus B, which means B equals to 5. So what's the equation of the line? Y equals 3x plus 5. That's like that K question just before that we did. It had a K. It's exactly the same logic. You have to sub it in. So pretty much what you've just learned is if you've got something that's passing through a point, sub the point in. Sub the point in. Don't overthink it. Just sub the point into an equation. Okay. Find the equation of the line that joins these 2 points. Leave your answer in gradient intercept format. This is probably the hardest question you can get in this topic, and the reason why it requires a few steps. Your first step is to understand, to write an equation of a line, it's y equals mx plus b. That means you need gradient and the y-intercept. And the worst thing is you have neither from this. At least the question above, they gave me the gradient, right? This one here, I've got nothing. I don't have the gradient nor the y-intercept. So the first step, step 1, I got to find gradient. How do I find gradient given 2 points? y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Minus 7 plus 3 is minus 4 on 6, sorry. Minus 4 on 6, which is negative 2/3. Now you have found your gradient. Now we need to find the y-intercept, and the way to do that, step 2, find the y-intercept. You guys can see probably why I started with this topic this term. It's not an easy topic to master. And I did say you either get 0% or you get 100%. So you either know what you're doing or you don't. There's no really in between with this. So for those who have neglected it now, we're in our 3rd week, you're going to struggle in school as well when you do this. So be careful. Don't neglect it. Go back. Find the y-intercept. You'll rather struggle with me than struggle at school. Always keep that in mind. Find the y-intercept. Our y-intercept would be what? Well, we don't know. So we've got our equation though. Our equation is y equals negative 2/3, because now we know what our m is. It's negative 2/3 x plus b. Same as before. I actually know, one of the points. It doesn't matter which one you pick. I'll just pick the first one. This can be x, this can be y. I'm going to sub it in and I'll find b. And that's the method to solve this question. This would be, I could say this would be one of the hardest questions you'll get in your exam. So this would be the hardest ones you'll get, just because it requires 2 different steps. So x is negative 2. Y is negative 3. And then plus b. And then we've got to solve for b. So that becomes 4/3 plus b. That's just a number. So we're going to subtract this over here. So minus 4/3. And our answer is minus 3 minus 4/3, negative 13/3. And then the answer we're looking for, step 3, the answer is y equals m x plus b. So m is negative 2/3 x plus b. Now I know that's hard. So there's no one that can say they can fully get that at your grade. But does anyone think they actually fully understand everything? Yeah. Okay, can someone tell me where I lost them? That was finding the gradient, finding the y-intercept, just so I can go back. Or number 3.
The y-intercept for me.
Okay, yep, cool. And anyone at gradient?
I didn't get how you got negative 13/3. I didn't get that.
How I got negative, okay, so same thing, find the y-intercept?
Yeah.
You don't understand? Okay, cool. So pretty much we're talking about equations. It looks like our equation skills are just a bit weak, not linear functions, because linear is number 1. That's our formula, plugging it in. That's this topic. to find the y-intercept, technically that's part of equations. All right, let's talk about it. So we've got this equation now. We've got y equals, do we agree with that line? Y equals mx plus b. We know what m is because we found it, but we don't know what b is now. So we agree with that line? Then
Yeah.
at this stage, what do we know? Well, we know x, and it's up to you. You can pick this point or you can pick this point. It actually doesn't matter. I decided to pick this point. All right. So, because this line goes through both the points, so it doesn't matter which one you pick. They both will work. So I decided to pick this one, and I went, okay, we know x is -2. There it is. And I know y is -3. There it is. So I just replaced that. I don't know what b is. B is what I'm trying to look for. Okay, anyone have any issues with the second line now? Good. Then I simplified this. What's -2 on 3 times -2? Well, plug that into your calculator. It should say 4 on 3 plus b equals to -3. Okay, anyone have any issues with this next line now? I multiplied. Any issues? Nope.
No.
Okay. Then I know this is where the issue is. Then how do I get rid of a 4/3? And the problem is, it's just because you guys are not used to fractions. But imagine I gave you a question like this. How would you get rid of the +2?
-2?
Yeah, you would have said -2, right? So you've got -5 equals b. Well, same thing. How do I get rid of the 4/3? It's just a number. 4/3 is like what? 1.33333. So it's just a number, just like 2 is a number. So how do I get rid of it? Subtract it. So all I did was -3. So this is technically -3 minus 4/3. -3 minus 4/3. That should give you -13/3. And then of course we get our answer, which is usually not a problem. Does that clear it up now?
Yeah, I understand now. Thank
It
you.
was this.
Yeah, I
It
got
was this step, right? Was it this step right here?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I know. It's always that step. Anybody else? All right. All right. All right. All right. That's that done. That's a hard one. Like I said, that's pretty much your A-level question for those who want to know. All right. General form and gradient intercept form. Easy. Is that the last bit? I just want to make sure how much longer we're spending. Rendered. Parallel. We still got to do. Are we doing perpendicular as well? In your course, yes, we are. And then are we done? All right. So parallel, perpendicular, and general form. All right. Okay. General form. If you are good at equations, you're going to find this absolutely easy. If you are really horrible at equations, you've got to let me know now, because you're going to absolutely struggle with this, because this is all equations based. So, general form and gradient intercept form. Okay. What was the formula for gradient intercept form? What was that?
Y.
Oh, yep.
X plus b.
Y equals mx plus b. Beautiful. General form. General form is this. Ax plus by plus c equals 0. So a little bit weird. Ax plus by plus c equals 0. That's general form. All right, very important things to realize here. Gradient intercept form, you make y by itself. So let's call it y is the subject. Everything else is on the other side. That's the trick of knowing what to do with gradient intercept form. Y is the subject. So y is by itself on one side, everything else is on the other side. Any questions of what I've said there? General form. Everything is on the one side. Everything is on the one side. Everything is on the one side. Hold on, I just want to make sure. Yep. Everything's on the one side. Cool, can we see that? Everything here is on the one side. There is no, letters on both sides. This is all the letters, everything's on the one side. So everyone agrees with that. And x must be positive. So you can't have x being negative. If it is, you've got to bring it to the other side, which we'll talk about. So everything's on the one side. That's how you remember it. X must be positive. And no fractions allowed. No fractions allowed. So everything's on one side. X must be positive. No fractions allowed. You'll be doing this all the way up to at least year 11. So this is the first year looking at it. It's meant to be a little bit harder. Year 10 gets easier. Year 11 gets easier. Year 12 gets easier. So just, I know how you guys are feeling, because it's the same feeling every year by students. Just respect the topic. Know that it's a bit tricky. I tried to warn you in advance that it's either a really good topic or a really bad topic. So you got to spend the time for this. Whereas your other subjects, usually, like I know Samuel, you got probability, for example, or ratios and rates. Shouldn't be too hard. They're pretty straightforward stuff. So this one, not so much. All right. Let's recap again. Gradient intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. X can be anything, positive, negative. M can be a fraction, it doesn't matter. B can be a fraction, it doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you've got y equals. Super important. This form, everything has to be on the one side. X must be positive and no fractions are allowed. All right, so let's see how we go with this. It says write the following equations in gradient intercept form and hence state the gradient and the y-intercept. So write the following equations in gradient intercept form and then hence state the gradient and the y-intercept. Okay, so I'm going to make y the subject. Samuel, let's start with you. I need to make y by itself. What are you going to move? Equations. Think of equations. Yep, go ahead.
The y, or negative 2y.
Okay, so you're going to move that over just to make it a positive. Is that your logic?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm okay with that. Doesn't matter. That's actually the best thing to do. Beautiful. So right now you've got y equals, x's and numbers on the one side. That's cool, but you have a 2 still. So what are you going to do now?
Would you divide everything by 2?
Yep, I'm just going to rewrite it so that everyone's not confused as well. I'm just going to rewrite it like this. 2y equals 4x plus 8. But like I was telling Samuel before, it doesn't matter the way you write it. Right? You could have continued, but I just think I don't want to confuse anyone. So let's just rearrange. And then you said divide by 2. So then you get 2x plus 4. And we're done. See, that's gradient intercept form. See, that was general form. General. Look at it. X is positive and everything's on one side and there's no fractions. That's general form. And now you've got it down to gradient intercept form. Gradient intercept form. Of course, from that, Samuel, what's your gradient? And what's your y-intercept?
Would it be 2x?
Ooh, 2, the number in front of the x.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And the y-intercept?
It's +4.
Positive 4. Careful. In front of x.
Yeah.
Good job. Okay, let's try that again. Let's see if Darius is here. Darius in yet? No. Jamie. Darius. I actually Shatu, you here now?
Yeah.
Yeah. When did you come in? Did you hear what I was just saying about all this right now?
Yeah, I came in like at 4:45 or something.
Okay. All right. All good. Then let's try this one. We want to make y the subject again. Right? So we want to make y by itself. What do you want to move over to the right-hand side?
The 3,
I think so. The 3x and the
12.
12, right? Because you want y by itself. So you're going to move these guys over. If you guys are starting to wonder why he did this now, and why, let's say, Samuel did this the first time, this was a negative, so he just thought, hey, I'll make it into a positive and keep these two like this. Whereas now, this is already a positive, so you might as well move the other ones. So good one. So keep going. So we've got 4y equals negative 3x and negative 12 when we bring it to the right-hand side. What do you do now? You want to get rid of the 4.
You divide it.
That's it. So y equals negative 3x on 4, and then 12 on 4 is negative 3. Of course, what's your gradient? Negative 3 over 4. And then what's your y-intercept? Negative 3. Good work. All right. Let's try it again. Let's try from the bottom. Let's try Liam. X minus y equals 7. X
Bring the
minus
7
y.
over to the left side and then bring the y to the right side. Actually, no.
Give me a
Bring the
second.
x to the right side.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that'll make it easier.
If you
So
said
then-
this, look, I'm okay with you saying bring the 7 over, but you had to at the same time say bring the y over.
Yeah,
Can you see why that happens? Because now you're going to have x's and 7s together, and you'll have y by itself.
Yeah.
But if you're going to just say bring the 7 over here, now you're going to have this.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but you still got y here.
Yeah.
You want y by itself, so all good. What do you want to do now? It's fine. You just tell me. One more time.
So I'll bring the x over to the right side.
Okay, fair enough. So minus y equals 7, and then minus the x. And now you've got to divide by
Yeah. Just minus 1.
minus
and then-
1. Minus 1. So divide everything by minus 1. Everything. You guys got to remember that of everything. So that becomes negative 7, and that becomes positive x. So then, what's your gradient and what's your y-intercept?
1 and negative 7.
Too easy. Too easy. Good work. So the one thing you guys got to remember with this is we are not allowed to find the gradient from such equations. Okay? You don't just go, oh, the gradient is 3. Sam said whatever's in front of the x. It's not like that. It has to be in this form. Y equals mx plus b. So if you've got something that doesn't look like that, you've got to make it look like that. There it is. There it is. And there it is. Once it's in that form, you can get the gradient and y-intercept the way we've been doing it above. All right. Now let's try the general form. So general form, everything is on the one side. So And x must be positive. That's our aim. And then no fractions allowed. I'll show you how to get rid of your fractions. But everything on one side, x must be positive. Okay, so keep that in mind. Let's do this. The order is important. First x, then y, which is why I said x must be positive. All right, let's do it. Express the following equations in general form. All right. Let's try together. I'll start with Jenna. Are you still there, or have you gone?
I'm still here. I was just about to ask if it's okay if I leave.
Let's do this one, and then you can go ahead and study.
Okay, thank you.
General form. So again, it's going to be ax plus by plus c equals 0. So I want everything to one side. Are you going to move your x and 3 to the left, or do you want to move your y to the right? Everything to one side, and that's it. That's it. That's our aim. We want to keep x positive, if that's a clue for you.
Do you move the -3?
So you're going to move the right-hand side to the left-hand side? Or do you move the left-hand side? So it's got to look, just let's confirm one more time. Because it looks like you made x a subject, which I understand. But what you want to do for these, general form, is everything, x, y, and the number, everything on the same side.
Okay.
Right? And then the only extra clue that I can give you is you would like to keep x positive. So have a think about it one more time. Do I bring the right-hand side to the left, or should I bring the left-hand side to the right?
The left to the right.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you do that, is x going to change?
No.
No, it's going to stay positive. So
Yeah.
what you're left with is x minus y minus 3 equals
0.
done. You're done. That's it. That's the answer. Right, express the
okay.
general form, finished. If you did it the other way, I just want to show you guys what would have happened. If you had moved these two to the right hand, to the left, you would have got, sorry, you would have got minus x plus y plus 3. But then you have to remember x, can it be negative? No. So then what you've got to do, you change all of the signs. So negative becomes a positive, positive becomes a negative, positive becomes a. So there's a little trick. If you ever have x being negative, you just change all signs. Change all signs. If x is negative. All right, Jenna, you can head off. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good work. All right, let's go. Let's try Annabelle. Let's try this one. Y equals 5x on 6. Annabelle, you there? No, not working. Grace, let's try it together then. Y equals 5x on 6. All right, I'll be with you. Okay, so you don't need to stress or say an answer that's going to be wrong. Just hold on. Hear me out. So our aim is for general form to keep x as positive, which right now it is. Our aim is also to make sure everything's on the one side, which it isn't right now. We've got it on two sides. And then eventually, we can't have any fractions either. Right? So somehow we've got to get rid of the 6. So x positive, you got a tick. They're not on the same side. So maybe let's work on that one first.
Okay.
So what do you want to move? Do you want to move this 5x on 6 to the left? You want to move the y to the right?
The y to the right.
Again, good choice, because you're going to keep this one positive, so that there's no need to move this one to the left. That would make it a negative. So 5x on 6 minus y, right? Minus y equals, it's always got to equal to 0. Always. That's the whole point. Now you tick X is positive, tick. Everything's on one side, tick. The third thing is I can't have fractions. So what are you going to multiply everything by?
6.
Yeah, too easy. So if you times this one by 6, you get rid of it. You times this one by 6, it becomes 6y. You times this one by 6, look, 0 times 6 is still 0. So your answer is 5x, that's gone, minus 6y equals, beautiful, done. That's it. These ones are not meant to be too hard if you follow that 1, 2, 3 step. 1, x positive, 2, everything on one side, everything on one side. 3, what did I say? No fractions. No fractions. All right, let's try it one more time. Let's try Gab. Let's try it with you. Y equals 8, take away 5x. All right, again, move the right to the left or left to the right. Think about it.
Yeah, move the y to the right.
If you move the y to the right, you're still going to have a negative 5x though. Can you see that happening? I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it because I want to do it because I like to do things that you guys would say just to show you what happens and how to fix it. Because come on, let's be serious. It's not always going to be perfect, right?
Yeah.
So you got to know if you do something, how to fix it, and it's okay. So let's bring the y over. So we like to write it as x and then y and then the number. So I'm going to write it like that: minus 5x minus y, because you said bring it over, and then positive 8 equals, of course, 0.
Yeah.
But that's the problem that we had down here. So what do we do now to fix it up? Change all signs.
Change all signs of x is negative. Yeah.
So then, what's your answer?
5 plus y minus 8.
5x plus y.
Yeah, 5x plus y
minus 8 equals.
0.
Too good. Too good. Well done. That's it. So, hey, some of you might say, hey, Sam, that's fairly easy. Do it. Not a problem. That's why I'm showing it to you. The other way would have been if you had brought these two over to the left side. So let's write the question real quick. If I brought these two over to this side, it would have just been positive 5x, positive y, because that's not changing sides, and then changing sides, so negative 8 equals 0. So pretty much you would have just saved yourself one line. I guess that would be the difference between the two. It's not that that crazy. There you go. All right. Let's try these ones as well. All right, rewrite these in equations in general form. So let's try. All right, Jamal, why don't you try this one?
Okay.
Left to right, right to left.
Yep.
What do you want to do?
So, to get rid of the 2?
To get rid of the 2. What our aim is, hold on, let's just rewrite in general form.
Yeah.
Our aim is for everything to be on the same side.
And then, yeah, equals 0.
Yep, so it's not just about the 2, it's more about, do you want to move this whole right side to the left or the left side to the right side?
Well, I don't... Would the x be negative here?
It is negative at the moment, yeah.
Okay, so we would remove it to the left side.
Yeah, correct. Okay,
As a
cool.
whole.
So then that becomes 2 over 3, positive 2 over 3,
Yep.
x. This doesn't change because it's already on that side, so plus y. This changes. It's a positive, becomes a negative. Boom. Then, so everything's on one side, tick. X positive, tick. Fraction, no tick. So what are you going to do to that? 3.
Times by 3.
Yeah, and that cancels out, but then everything's got to be multiplied by 3.
Yep.
You guys got to learn that. 2x plus 3y minus 6 equals 0. All right, brilliant. And then I'll do this last one. Again, if I was to look at this question, I can see that's a negative x. I'm going to bring everything to the other side, so that becomes positive x minus y, and then positive a third equals 0. All right, so everything's on one side. Tick. X is also positive now. Tick. The only problem is I've got these two different fractions. Can someone tell me what I should multiply by to get rid of both of these fractions?
6.
Yes, times 6 times 6 times 6. The reason why you do that, because 2 times 3 would be a factor of 6. So 2 and 3 are factors of 6, so 2 times 3. And then what happens is it doesn't cancel out like it did here, because 3 and 3 cancels. 6 on 2 is 3x. This one doesn't have a denominator, so that's still 6y. 6 on 3 is 2. 6 on 3 is 2 equals 0. Anyone confused about the way I just did equations there? Because I can show you a different way. No, that makes sense. 6 on 3 is 2. 6 on 2 is 3. And then 6. Okay, you're done. That's it. That's general form. So, like I said, less linear stuff. I would say in this part of the topic, a bit more equations. All right. No, I don't want to do these just yet. And I think we are just up to parallel and perpendicular. All right. Very, very easy. Parallel lines have the same gradient. So parallel lines have the same gradient. So which of the following lines are parallel? This one, y equals 2x plus 8. What is its gradient? 2. Y equals x plus 8. What is its gradient? 1. And then 8x minus 4y equals 12. Wait, that's so weird. Is that even allowed? No, because it's got to be y equals mx plus b. So what do we have to do for this? We're going to make it into gradient intercept form, which was make y the subject, everything else on the other side. Make y the subject, everything else on the other side. So what I'm going to do for this question is I'm going to move this guy. Oh, it's okay. I'll move this one over to the right hand side. Then I'm left with negative 4y, 12 minus 8x, 12 minus 8x. At this stage you would divide by negative 4, so you end up with 12 over negative 4 is negative 3, and then plus 2x. And obviously what's your gradient for this one now? 2. So you guys can tell you're going to get questions like this and they're going to ask you to find the gradient, but what you have to remember is you can't find gradient. You can only find gradient if it's y equals mx plus b. And then of course, which two are parallel? It'll be that one and that one. Okay, the lines, this and this are parallel. Determine the value of m. Of course, straight away, if they are parallel, what does m equal to? If they are parallel, gradients are equal if they're parallel. So what is it equal to?
Negative 5 over 2.
Negative 5 over 2. And then it says, and hence write the equation of that line in general form. Y equals negative 5x onto minus 3. Sorry, that's me. I know that. Probably froze there. Can you guys still hear me? Just trying to make sure.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So y equals negative 5x onto take away 3. That's your equation. We're trying to write this in general form. So again, to write it in general form, we know the rules by now. Everything on the one side, x positive and no fraction. So bring everything to the left-hand side. Plus 3. So move these two over to there. Right, positive, positive, and then that stays positive. And then multiply everything by 2. Times 2, times 2, times 2, times 2. And it would look something like this, because this and this will cancel. This one's you got 2y, 2 times 3 is 6, and then that's 0. Alright, good stuff. Good stuff. I might leave it there for today. I'll save that.